Here we go. Well, good Lord willing, it actually is live now. I don't know.
Second time's the charm.
It is. It's showing up.
Yay!
Slight technical difficulties, but
sometimes you just gotta, call alt delete and just start all over again.
That's okay. We'll get there.
Like we were saying, it's 2020 that I read this one meme. It was like, I wouldn't be surprised if dinosaurs started walking the earth again. And be like,
I think we lost Chan.
Where'd Chan go?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Chan ran away.
Oh, Chan ran away. We lost Chan. I didn't think we were that bad.
So how are y'all ladies doing?
Surviving. We're here.
Yeah.
It's just been.
This year's getting worse and worse day by day. I don't know. Makes it where you can't sleep. Makes it where you can't get up. You can't do anything. And we found Chan.
Talk about technical difficulties. Good God Almighty.
Oh my.
It's that kind of week, you know.
It is. It is. It's that type of week. I mean, crap. I feel guilty this week because I got sick on Tuesday. Woke up, I couldn't. My brain hurt so bad. Massive migraine, just couldn't function, couldn't focus. So I had to call into work, which of course makes me feel guilty, which then triggers my anxiety.
Right.
So I spent about 48 hours with a massive panic attack. That was fun. That was just always fun. I was like, seriously, and I still feel guilty. Like you can't do my job if you're not 100%. Like it's just not doable. Like I can't fake it. So it's totally legit that I couldn't function, I couldn't work, but I still feel freaking guilty, which then trips that anxiety, and it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you can't expect to perform around animals if you're feeling anxious. They'll feel that.
Oh yeah.
That's not
absolutely. Good. But it triggered and made my depression worse, which just like totally toppled me. And like this week's been shit. Like absolute shit. And like my mental health is totally trash this week. And it sucks because, to be honest, I don't really have a lot of days off in a row for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like my last little bit of time off.
Done. Right. Done. So what do you do to help you through that? Good or bad? Like you can like throw it out there. What do? You pour yourself a drink, you chill out,
I try to avoid the drink, actually. Yeah. Because alcoholism runs in my family. So I don't drink much. Like I'll joke at work. I joke all the time. Oh my God, I'm going home and pouring a drink. No, I rarely drink.
Right.
But I puff. I have a nicotine addiction. I puff on my thing. The worse my mental health is, the more I kind of lean on that.
Yeah.
I have a nasty habit because I wash my hands a lot.
Right.
With what I do. Mm-hmm. So my skin gets dry and then I start picking at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so.
Oh gosh.
So it's kind of like my version of self-harm.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Just pick.
Yep. And it's not that I'm doing it consciously, but it is a mental thing.
Right.
And then I'll focus on anything else, watch. It's funny. I was actually watching Mythbusters on TV because like the voices are very soothing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I was playing on my phone and I read an article saying that people with anxiety, like to watch things they've seen before because they know what's going to happen. So like it's calming. And I was like, no wonder I like to watch the show on repeat.
Or something with music in the beginning that seems calming and relatable. Something you've heard a lot. Like we'll watch Trailer Park Boys because the beginning of that is like a piano and it's all like do. And it's really, and that kind of calms you down, when you hear that kind of thing, and it's repetitive. So you're binge watching Netflix, and that seems nice.
Right.
That's exactly what I do. Or I go on my phone and like go down like YouTube rabbit holes or Facebook rabbit holes, that sort of thing.
Oh, those things get you addictive. I was watching like the worst Karens out there videos.
I love the ones where they end up getting their asses kicked.
That's fantastic.
I was just watching this the other night and I was like, this is just too funny.
Do you guys ever feel bad for women who actually have the name Karen?
I actually do, because my godfather's wife, her name is Karen, and I love her to death. And she's nothing like those women.
Oh.
Yes, I am married to the worst.
I was just going to say, Sam. Did you see what Sam just said? Anyway.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie to you, Kat. I've definitely partaken in my time period of hiding from my anxiety in substances of various types. I lost 4 years of my life to pot because I just didn't want to face reality. I've had alcohol addictions of massive levels as a female person. It was kind of ridiculous. There were days on weekends when I didn't have to go to work where if the kids were not home that weekend, like at dad's for the weekend or whatever, I'd start drinking at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday because I was anxious because the kids weren't there. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things.
Hey, we all do what we need to do to cope. That's the thing.
And that's true.
Honestly, pot, I don't like. I don't like how it makes me feel. So it's not something that works for me. Right. Now, I do love a good drink now and then, and that does help. I just, because of knowing that the predilection to alcoholism runs on one side of my family, I'm very careful, but I'm very aware of it. So it's like I flirted with drinking too much, where it started becoming a little bit too much of a habit. I'm like, oh, nope, stop. I made myself, because I'm like, I'm not going down that road.
Right.
But I could have easily slid down that road if I wasn't careful. It's just, we do what we have to do. That's the thing. We all have to survive. It's just a question of what works for us to make it work.
Yeah. And you have to learn your tolerances and what you can handle and can't handle as a person. And it's a hard time as a young person coming up through this. They don't warn you when you're a kid that your parents have no fucking clue what they're doing, and they're anxiety-ridden adults. Like, you don't know that shit. You think they know what they're doing. So by the time you hit your adult life or whatever, and you start fucking up, then all of a sudden it's like, I'm a failure because my parents were like successful in this way and I'm not, or my grandparents or whatever, or my aunt or my uncle or my cousin or whatever. Nobody tells you that. No one has a fucking clue what the hell they're doing, because nobody does. Like, no one knows. We're all just walking around with blinders on in the dark, feeling our way through bullshit together.
That's all it is. Together.
Yeah.
Well, it comes down to, like, okay, my daughter's in college and she's at, I've asked her before, what are you interested in? What do you want to do? When you get out of college? She goes, I have no fucking clue. I said, good, because I had no fucking clue what I wanted to do either. I just kind of stumbled into my career. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. It was like, hey, I'll hire you. Okay, cool. I need a job. And then, but I have a big problem. I've always had a big problem with actually taking care of myself and taking a day for myself. My kids always tell me, you don't know how to sit down and relax. You don't know how to chill. You don't know how to just not do anything. Because I'll take a day off. I'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to work today. I can't do it. I'm not going to deal with it. And I'll stay home. And I'll be like, I'm going to sit on the couch today and I'm going to do nothing. And I'm just going to do whatever, and I'll be like sitting there and I'll go, okay, I need to clean the kitchen. Yeah, I need to clean the kitchen. I need to clean I'm gonna sweep the floor. And my kids are like, just sit down and do nothing. Chill the fuck out. And I'm like,
it's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's so hard.
And or I'll be like, oh, I need to take care of, because I always feel like I need to take care of everybody. And I found myself doing it at work too, where I'm like, I feel guilty that I'm in the middle of a project and I can't run out there and grab the phones when the guys are perfectly capable of doing their job, and somebody can sit on hold for 30 seconds while, the other guys get unbusy. And it's like, I feel guilty about not being able to take care of everything all at once. I'm like, I've got to stop doing that. And
it's really hard. Yeah.
My problem is when I'm not at work, it's hard for me to actually get things done. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Like, between the depression and the anxiety that I have to deal with on my days off, it's like I'm exhausted. Like, I just don't have the mental or physical.
Shuts off.
Yeah, I just can't do anything, and it sucks because, like, I have projects I want to do. I have things I want to accomplish, and I'm just like, it's just hard.
You just get to a point where you're like, fucking forget it. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I've had enough. Fucking forget it. See, I had a hard time getting to that point because for a really, really long time, I had this perfection issue where if things weren't perfect, if I didn't look perfect, if like everything had to be perfect. And even if it got to a point where I couldn't make something perfect, I would practically kill myself trying to get it that way. And if it didn't turn out perfect, I'd just get drunk and worry about it tomorrow. Which is bad. That's really fucking bad policy to have. But
it is.
When you sit down and you think about the heavy hand that has ridden on top of you your entire life, pushing you down, telling you which direction you should or shouldn't go in, what you should and shouldn't do, what's wrong, what's right, how you should look, how you should dress, blah, 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 and all this other fucking bullshit. I've had 4 or 5 men admit to me, and one of them may be listening right now, that if they were a woman, they'd have probably killed themselves before they were 20. That's a rough fucking statement, because there is a lot of fucking shit that hovers over top of the head of somebody who's got like tits and a vagina. Because like, if you don't look a certain way, or you don't act a certain way, or you don't talk a certain way, all of a sudden, like, you've been stereotyped down this certain place. Now you're a Karen or whatever the thing is they're calling people now, whatever. But you have that line to ride under, like you can't be too much of this, you can't be too little of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. And for me, that's where my anxiety troubles always fall down to. Like, if I cannot find that place of perfection, I'm fucked. Like, my head just goes completely off the rails, and I'm so screwed. But when I got hit by a car and I was stuck in a fucking wheelchair, and they looked at me and they said, "You probably won't walk again, or you are not going to be able to do all of these things by yourself anymore." I went, fuck me. How the hell am I going to deal with this now? I can't even make myself a fucking pot of coffee because I can't stand up at the counter and get the water in the pot and then put it in the thing and all this other shit. So for me personally, what it comes down to is being able to look at myself and go, nothing is going to be perfect. You are definitely not going to be perfect. The world around you is not going to be perfect. So just sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, drink a cup of coffee, and move on with your day.
You know what, Shannon? I'm actually at the beginning of that, because with the MS, it's slowly making my body go, yeah, guess what? You can't do that. You're not going to have the energy. You're not going to have the coordination. You're not going to have the muscle strength. You're not going to be able to do that. And I have to go, well, fuck, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm going, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to sit down. I have to sit down. I can't do this. I can't, I'm just going to have to let it go. And that's the hardest thing for me right now, is just letting it go and saying, yeah, sure, somebody else can take care of that if they want it done.
You don't have an option though, Anna. And that's where I'm at too, because the accident happened when I was 38 years old, and now I'm 42. Actually, I was 37, almost 38. So now I'm 42, and they're telling me that it's nothing but downhill from here. You know, like arthritis and all these other issues, mobility problems, blah, which is why they put me on disability, because I'm kind of fucked for the rest of my life at this point as far as getting around and doing shit. But you know what? Fuck it. I mean, I'm being serious. Like, fuck it, because you control what you can.
Right.
The part of the problem is you're really not in control. And that's a hard thing to give up. That's a really hard thing to deal with when it comes to anxiety, is realizing all these things that you're anxious about, you're not in fucking control of anyway.
True.
The only thing you're in control of is how you deal with the lack of control. That's facts. And it took a hard hit, literally 3 cars, me between the first 2. You know what I mean? For me to realize that that's an actual fucking deal. Like, you are not in control. Stop trying so hard to fucking control shit, because you're not. And I started becoming a much happier person in the long run, because if shit didn't get done, oh fucking well. If nobody wants to deal with it, then they don't have to fucking hang out. It's fine. I don't give a shit anymore. Right. You know? But it is a hard pill to swallow when you're the person that you think you're in control of all these things. It's the hard person. It's hard to fucking be the person to step back and look at it all and go, whoa.
Yep.
Now what?
Yeah, I've had to go from saying, okay, I'm going to clean the house, to I'm going to clean the bathroom. That's what I'm going to take care of today, is the bathroom, because I'll get done with the bathroom and I'll be like, I'm exhausted. I can't do it. I and shit starts to go south quick. And I'm like, all right, I'm sitting down. I'm going to get me some food and I'm just going to relax.
So I know a few other people who have mobility problems, physical issues, this and that and the other thing, from, fibromyalgia to, broken back issues, other car accidents, all these other things and they do, like, I never heard of this before until I started talking to these people, and it's they do spoons. Like, you allow yourself so many spoons of energy a day. And when you run out of spoons, you're done for the day. Like, that's it.
Right.
You don't bother doing anything else. And I think that that's a really good policy to have. And I need to figure out exactly how this works, because I like this as a means to deal with tasks that need done throughout the day. Because if you push yourself too far, you don't want to fucking do anything anyway, Yeah. So you're allowing there you go. Wolfie said Crystal uses the spoons. It's one of those things where you give yourself all these things. Like, this is all you're doing. You have 4 spoons today. Those are 4 things you're getting done, and then stop.
Right.
And that tends to, like, bring the anxiety about not getting things done off the table. So there's one thing, as far as mental health can go, that's one anxiety thing. You're giving yourself an answer to kind of deal with that anxiety. Now, there's tons of other anxieties to deal with, but there's one with, like, not really a solution, but an alternative to spinning in circles about it,
Right. That actually had, that you hit it with spinning in circles, because you go, okay, I'm going to start this project. I know I'm not going to have the energy to finish it, but I'm going to start this project and I'll finish it tomorrow. Well, you get halfway through it, you're exhausted. You go, okay, I'm going to finish it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow turns into the next day, turns into the next week, turns into the next month, because you end up with a ton of other things that you have to take care of. And by the time you get back to that one project, you either forgot where you were at in that project, so you have to start back over again, or everything's gotten fucked up anyway, so you got to start back over at the beginning anyways.
I know.
And it's hard when you're, especially, like, I'm extremely independent, and I hate asking people for help. And that's, one of the things that I've started having to do is ask for help. And I hate that. It's such a blow to the ego to have to ask somebody, Like,
yeah,
if I get down on the floor to do something, I can't get back up again unless I have something to hold on to. So I have to go, hey, Russ, can you help me get up?
I know.
But it's so frustrating, and it
Mhm.
really hits the ego. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's what it is. It's a punch to the ego. It's like,
Right.
fuck you. You do this by yourself. You know?
The human ego is a very delicate thing.
Yeah, when I'm at work, like I torqued my knee a few years ago. I did something to it. Kneeled down to pick something up, stood up, and something went, like literally went. I don't know what it was, but it buckled me. Like it fucking hurt. And ever since, I can't kneel anymore.
Right.
And so at work, that's a challenge because we have to get on the floor sometimes. So I work smart, like I bend in half, which is great for my back. Or I use stools, or like I adapt, but occasionally I have to sit on the ground. And I'm in my 40s. I work with a lot of paraprofessional staff that are in their 20s, and when I go to get up, sometimes they're like, "Hey, doc, you want to hand up?" I'm like, "No, I got it." I'm like, I can still get my ass off the floor.
Right.
It takes a while, because it's not graceful. I used to be able to just pop back up. Now it's unfold that leg, unfold this leg. Sometimes I have to grab the table to like kind of hoist myself up, and some of that's because I'm heavy. But something, I mean, is just not right. And I screwed that knee up years ago. I actually remember exactly what I did. I was in a really bad place when I was a teenager. My mental health didn't get diagnosed until I didn't actually have a diagnosis until after college. How I survived college is a fucking miracle.
Right? You had to do it just then.
I did. I did.
And of course, I come in. The first thing I hear is Kate's cat going, "I had to hold that leg up." What do you think, girls?
Nice.
You look gorgeous, honey. Gorgeous.
That looks beautiful. I love it. That looks awesome.
Feet of it off.
You look like you're having fun with it. Like you love it.
I do.
You seem very bouncy.
It's an action.
I like that a lot.
I'm exhausted as hell.
Girl, I'm right there with you. So trust me.
So anyway, back to your leg holding story.
Well, I was saying how it's hard for me to get up. We were talking about like physical limitations and I was saying, I screwed my knee up a few years ago. I knelt down to pick something up, and something literally went pop. I felt it in my knee. Something went pop, and that knee's never been right since. But I actually had screwed it up years.
Oh, Abby is trying to steal stuff.
I got Boris behind my chair farting. That's fun. If you ever see my face contort, it's because of Boston farts behind my chair. But when I was a teenager, my mental health was in a really bad place. Like, I didn't actually see anybody to get like help until after college, and I was in a really bad mood. And I, for some reason, thought it was a good idea. Like, I was kind of kicking around, and I slammed my knee really hard into a cabinet. I didn't mean to. Well, I didn't mean to hit my knee, but I did, and like the kneecap kind of did a weird like. And yeah,
That's always.
That was the same summer I held a knife to my wrist.
Oh,
gracious.
That's a fun day. Isn't that a fun day? I've been in. I've had that day.
Yeah, that was a fun day. I sat there and I literally, because we're talking about mental health. I'm going to be upfront about it because this was almost 30 years ago. It's a long time ago. I literally sat there. Let me find a prop. And I'm literally holding the knife, and I'm like this. And I'm just like, why not? Why not? And I don't know what stopped me. But I actually was like, not today. And I put it down. And I did that. That was what I said. I said, not today.
Yeah.
And then when I was in college, and I had a professor that didn't think I was physically fit enough to do like a field thing with him. He never did let me join the field thing with him, but he wanted me to be able to climb. We had a tower, the tallest building on campus. And he's like, if you can, climb this tower, see if you can do this. He also knew I smoked. He hated I smoked. So I used to climb it, and I kept thinking, I could just go up on the roof. I could open that door. It's a really long drop.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would climb the stairs, I'd be like, not today.
Yeah.
And that was like my mantra on the bad days. It was not today.
You and me both. You and me both. Because I lived out near mountains. My grandparents lived out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, like the Appalachian Mountains out here in PA. And there was this one drive where you got to the top of the mountain. It was a sharp fucking turn. I'm like, you know what? I could just, but not today, and that's a big deal. That not today thing is a huge deal. A lot of people say that to themselves. I know I have a lot of friends who are, on the same page, mental health wise, with the same deal. And I think a lot of people go there, and you have to tell yourself that not today, because
I've been
that's
there.
Right.
There was
that's right, Lowry. Not today, Satan. Not today.
Yeah.
At one point, Eric and I's relationship was in a hard place. We had no money. We had no food in the house. I was worth more dead than I was alive, that kind of thing. And I remember thinking, well, what if I just run my car into a tree?
Solving problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit.
Or I was sitting there looking at the knife going, I could just end it all right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a
In
nice
college,
thing to do
I was dropped off a bridge.
All right.
Yeah.
So
It does get hard, Life gets heavy, and you don't really know how to deal with it, where to take it, how to balance it out, And I think it's an important thing to learn how to do that, especially when it comes to mental health and getting to tomorrow. Because as shitty as we might feel today, tomorrow could be the best day of the year. You don't know.
Exactly.
Right.
So
I certainly hope it is, because 2020.
Oh,
Man,
2020 needs to stop.
who broke the mirrors?
right.
Have you y'all seen that meme where it says 13 says nobody likes me, I'm an unlucky number, and 666 says, really, you think you've got it bad? And then 2020 says, hold my beer.
Yeah. Hold my beer. Watch this.
I actually have that sign. I have it printed out and pasted up on my wall at work, and I look at it every day, and I'm like, yep, hold my beer. Let's see what the fuck happens today. This is going to be fun.
I know it sounds really probably horrible, but I always look at it like, especially since dealing with the bullshit that has transpired in my crappy little life. I always tend to look at it like, man, if I can make it through this is going to be an awesome fucking story. You know what I mean? I know that sounds really silly, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, grandkids, whatever the fuck's going on, I'd be sitting in a room full of people and be like, when I was your age, whatever.
I remember it was 2020.
All right.
Oh,
my grandmother used to tell stories about the depression that puts 2020 to shame. Sorry, guys. Not trying to be a dick. But that's my grandmother. You know what I mean? That's not that long ago. And so I'm looking at it like if we can make it through this, it's gonna be a hell of a fucking story. A hell of a fucking story.
And we'll never forget this year. I mean, this is gonna be one of those things we don't forget, because we all remember seminal moments.
Oh fuck yeah.
I remember to this day with great excruciating detail the day I finally said fuck off to my egg donor. And said, I'm in charge of my life. This is it.
Yeah. Right.
And I remember the subsequent times I had to repeat that. She didn't take it, well the first time. But you remember things. And this is going to be a year we'll never forget. I mean, we'll remember 2020 forever. And which, it's probably not a good thing, but we're never going to forget this shit for sure.
No, but we'll make it through it.
No,
we're all going to make it. We're going to make it through this.
Dinner.
You're fine.
You're good.
I'm making a graph.
I'm trying not to sell my fingers.
It's time to calculate what was sold for the fundraiser and then figure out
cool.
something. So I'm trying to start the math process because fundraiser's over, ladies. We made it.
So if we see smoke coming out of your ears, we know what it's from.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But that's okay.
So,
okay.
Chan did math?
Not yet.
Chan did math? No, not
That's
yet.
what I said. Like when she starts to do the math and we see the smoke coming out of her ears, we know what's going on.
Yeah. I can't, girl, I can't math, and math is an important part of my job. I still have to pull out the damn calculator. I'm like,
It's why I have an Elijah.
I use my fingers. I still use my fingers.
Mm-hmm. Elijah is my walking, talking calculator. I'm just gonna get the figures together as to how much of everything was sold, and then I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Elijah, what's this times this?"
Yep.
And he'll be like,
My phone lives in my pocket, so I can pull it out and figure out doses and stuff with my calculator. I'm just like, I just can't do it otherwise. There's
120, 240, 360, 480. I'm used to calculating the 12.
There we go.
Good for you.
I have certain things. Thank God there's a few drugs that are like make per kg. That's great. I just got to move a decimal here and there. But my favorite drug, it's an antiemetic. It's for dogs and cats only. It's a 10 mg per ml solution, and the dose is 1 mg per kg.
Nice.
I love that one because you don't have to math that one.
You don't have to math that one.
But then I got another thing. That's a heartworm preventative injection, which is awesome because it's an injection and the dog is protected for 6 or 12 months. But that one is kilograms times 0.05. Like I can't do that one in my head.
Oh wow!
It's just half their weight.
Yeah, but
you said 0.05.
0.05, so it's half, and then you have to move the decimal. I pull my calculator out on that one. Like I can
I'm not
eyeball
doing
it.
the math. I'm not doing the math. You can't make me look. Bethany's doing the same thing I am. Where it's like, nope. You can't make me.
School, we weren't allowed a calculator.
That's why I'm not in those professions that require me to have to do math like that.
I wasn't allowed a calculator either. Like in school, we weren't allowed to use a calculator, which all of us thought was stupid because we are allowed calculators in real life. But and I can eyeball
every time we're given meds. Just click it.
Yep. Like I always eyeball it. Like the one that's like times 0.05. I can eyeball it and know is that right or wrong.
Yeah.
But I always double check it. I still always double check it. It's
you know what I like? Pre-filled syringes.
Nice. We don't have that because veterinary medicine unfortunately is not quite that fancy. We also don't have the handy dandy needles that like close themselves. Like the ones that like lock.
I love those.
We have to recap our crap before we carry it over to the sharps container.
That's why you scoop and then click.
None of us do that. None of us do that. We're holding that shit and popping it back.
Shame on you! Shame!
Come on. I know. Actually, I had a lady. I did that once, and she's like, "I work for OSHA. You're not supposed to do that." I said, "Yeah, I know. What safer than me carrying a bare needle around." She laughed. But yeah, we're not supposed to, but I do. We all do. Oh, and most of us before masks uncapped the needles with our teeth.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen that.
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
It didn't happen.
No.
Yep. And it's funny now because we all still do it. We all still take the needle and like pull it up, and we're like, "Oh, damn it!" And then we do pop it off.
In emergency situations have I done that? Very, 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 very rare, and I caught myself right away. And I'm giving you a hard time as I'm cleaning out my pockets of my scrubs. I'm like, oh, that's where that was.
I've come home so many times with needles in my pockets and empty vials, and I'm like, oh my god. But it happens.
I'm glad.
Yeah, now if I worked in human med, I would never, ever, ever do what I do with the popping with the teeth and the recapping. But I work with animals. I don't have to worry about AIDS and Hep C or Hep B or Hep anything.
No.
I don't have to worry about that.
Whereas here with us, you can't. Yeah. No.
You got to worry about way more shit than I do. The only thing I have to worry about is rabies, which I'm vaccinated.
Mhm.
Good.
And leptospirosis, which I'm sorry, if I get pee on my hands, I'm washing my damn hands.
Fuck yeah.
Those are,
Yeah.
You can't always wash your hands right away because we had one lady that jumped out of bed and peed over the side of the bed today.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's gross.
And she was 47.
That sounds like every day at my job.
Oh my God, no, thank you.
Boy, I'm glad I don't have to deal with these things at my job. The only thing I had to deal with whenever I was working with porta potties, and that is a nightmare in itself.
Oh God!
I just have to.
You can't even pay me to use one.
Oh no!
It doesn't even really bother me anymore.
I was at a soccer game with at a football game with watching my nephew play pee-wee football, and my niece was sitting there with us, and she had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, all right, I'll take you to the porta potty. We found the cleanest one out of the group, and it was one of those, and she had never used a porta potty before, and I looked at her and I said, now I'm going to show you how to do this. I pulled out of my pocket the hand sanitizer and the wet wipes, and I'm like sanitizing the whole freaking toilet, and she finally, because they can't hover, she can't sit there and hover, she's little. She's like, okay, and I got her up onto the toilet, and I'm holding her up over the toilet. I was like, I don't care how much sanitizer I put, I'm holding you. I'm like holding her up.
Oh no, I don't have time.
She went and got cleaned up, and I got her cleaned up and everything. And she goes, why do you carry that stuff? I said, because I knew there was only porta potties up here. I'm not touching anything in here with that. No.
When I first started at my school, they were renovating it. So 3rd through 6th, including like some of the special ed, were up in trailers on the field. And they brought in those like the porta potties that flush, like you can actually flush them and they have like a sink. But they still
a little bit better.
But they will still like smell when they haven't been cleaned out. And it was worse in winter when like the pipes, like they would like slightly freeze because all you would smell was that. And of course, this is with like kids. And I'm sorry, kids are nasty.
Oh my God.
You're not
even ever. I did a summer job for an uncle by marriage, and they're divorced. I don't know if he's still technically my uncle. Anyway, my Uncle Larry, he owned a janitorial service. He hired me one summer under the table to basically help clean a school that had summer school, so it was still like busy during the summer. I think he hired me just to make sure like his people actually were doing their jobs. I'm not sure. Anyway, I got pocket money. Bad thing is I had to be a janitor for a summer. Ugh. Oh my God, little boys can't fucking aim. And neither can little girls.
Nope.
Oh my God, it was the grossest.
It's like throw Cheerios in the Cheerios on the toilet so they can.
It doesn't work. It doesn't always work.
The floor was always very moist.
And on top of that, little girls I worked with.
Fucking nasty.
He would sometimes have accidents, and other times she would purposely have an accident.
I had a patient or two like that myself.
And so, it was always one of those with her. It was like every hour to hour and a half, it was taking her to the bathroom. And she needed help sometimes with going to the bathroom, like depending on where we were, like pulling the pants down all the way, getting her up on the seat, making sure she wiped. And when she would have an accident, it would be taking the dirty clothes off, cleaning her, putting the clean clothes on. And
yep.
That stuff just, I don't know if I could do adults. I could do kids. I don't think I could do adults, because there was one summer I worked with high school students, and there was one girl, two girls that I worked with, but we had a boy, and I looked at the teacher and I said, no offense. I was like, but I don't feel comfortable. And he was like, don't worry. I don't mind. I can do it. I was like, thank you. I was like, he is too much bigger than me. There's no way I'm going to be able to
That's a
Yeah,
hard
God
one.
bless you. I can't do people. Like, I mean, I'll deal with dogs or, that have parvo blowing their ass out of like just hematochezia with like chunks of intestine.
And it smells horrible.
Ew, it smells horrific. I will clean that up 100 times out of 100 over one person. Like, no, thank you.
Oh, wow.
See, I'm used to, I've been like, oh, you're going to throw up? I don't have a, oh, okay. And then I end up getting it. I've been pissed on, I've been shit on, I've been puked on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was my
kid.
Well, you were saying about the porta potty. I went to a camp one time and there was a bunch of girls. And the girls were, I mean, we were all teenagers. So, and a lot of us had our periods and there wasn't any way to wash your hands right there at the toilet. And it had been sitting, it had been sitting all week. And it was a really hot summer. And we were there for a week.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Try working with girls with disabilities that really don't know how to change their pads.
Oh, I've
and that's one of the things I've had to do was help changing pads.
There was a mountain of shit up to the rim of the toilet.
God!
Hold on, I gotta tell you this because this is fucked up. So my family reunion was at this state park on the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. And it was a really old state park.
Is it like Colonel Denning?
Their idea of outdoor facilities was a shack, a large shack with like 5 toilets along a wall. The men's room was on the opposite side of that wall. And it's this big building, right? With like a roof and all the stuff. It's concrete.
A big septic tank underneath it.
It wasn't a tank. It was a giant pit.
Oh, God.
It was a giant pit. There was no plumbing. If you sat on that toilet, your ass was open to this giant shit pit that was underneath.
And you can hear the men.
Oh my God.
Farting and doing whatever they're doing.
There was one time Jason and I went camping with his family and we went, I mean, it was no running water, nothing. And it was just these porta potties, like the blue porta potties.
Oh, God.
Saturday night, there must have been some campers who, it was Friday or Saturday night, there were some campers that they must have drank too much. Because they completely missed. There was shit all over. There was shit all over the seat. There was shit all on the floor.
Oh my God.
Jason was like,
why wouldn't you clean it up?
He got into his car and said, I'm going to Walmart. He drove like 30 minutes to the Walmart just to take a shit.
You know it's bad.
When you go to
it's
Walmart,
bad when Walmart is the best choice.
Yeah.
You know how many times Wayne did that for me from job sites? Because like these fucking idiots, and I don't know what the hell was wrong with them. They would literally stand on the platform that the toilet seat lid thing goes on in the porta potty and shit from a squat position.
Oh my God.
What?
What the
fuck?
I don't understand. I still don't understand what the fuck the deal was and what they ate the night before, but it was like fucking the most disgusting thing. Like I'd get near the porta potty and go walking right back. I'm like, Wayne, you've got to take me somewhere. Sheets, Walmart, I don't give a fuck where we go. I cannot go to the bathroom and I have to pee like bad. I've been running on coffee all day. I've got to take a piss. Yeah.
And what Jason says is very true. Like he will figure out a route where there's a Target.
They do have the best bathrooms.
I work next door to a Target, and one of the docs I work with, if she has to go to the bathroom, will walk to Target to go to the bathroom. Because where I work, we share the space. So it's a public bathroom, not our bathroom. It's not ours. It belongs to it's shared amongst our space. Like we share it. The hospital shares it with a commercial entity that also shares the space.
With
It's
men?
Right.
it's a public bathroom. Well, sometimes one of the girls will walk back in and she'll be like, use the men's. Don't go in the women's, just use the men's. Because the men's doesn't see as much traffic. But but oh my God, I have walked into that women's room so many times, and then I look down at this. I always check the seat before I sit. I don't know what
people. I don't know how they can do that.
How? Yeah, like how? But it's on the seat.
Are they holding it open and just letting it go?
I don't know, but it's like how do I have to clean the seat to take a pee?
I work at a high-end car dealership, okay? I'm talking these vehicles are between $80,000 and $150,000, okay? You would expect high-class people come in there. Fuck no. I go into the ladies' room. There are pads used sitting on the side of the side of the wall. Like, oh God, like there is shit on the toilet. Yes. There is shit on the toilet. One time I walked in and there was a used tampon sitting on top of the little disposal can. I'm like, lift the lid. Lift the lid and throw it away.
Just wait 1 second, because I heard that. Was that Jason? I just want you to know, buddy. I just want you to know that women's bathrooms are the most disgusting public restrooms on the planet.
Oh,
you guys couldn't touch a women's fucking restroom. No, men's restrooms nasty enough. Women's restrooms are the fucking worst.
Men's smell nasty, but women's
they look nasty.
Disgusting.
It's pretty fucking dirty too. Like,
actually,
I know.
You guys have to hear this story. You have to hear this story. This is awesome. Yeah, so
they're fucking nasty, dude.
No.
Like I said, public restrooms at where I work, and so the general public can use these. And we have a couple of guys on staff. And one day, one of the male employees comes back into the hospital area and he starts scrubbing his hands like he's prepping for major surgery.
Oh God!
We're like,
oh wow!
Up to the
and we're all looking at him like, what's wrong? Because his face was just like, he's like, I was just in the bathroom and it was really gross and I really have to wash my hands. And we're all like, what? Because we're used to the bathroom being gross, but honestly, like they make an effort there to keep it relatively clean. I mean, it's usually not too god awful. Somebody will blow it up and it smells, but it generally, for the most part, they actually make an effort to keep it relatively clean. He's like, a guy was in there. He's like, I went to grab toilet paper. The toilet paper was moist.
Oh no!
Oh,
it wasn't pee. It wasn't pee.
Oh.
Yeah. It wasn't pee. Oh my gosh.
And the color blended in with the white.
So good now, is it? Yeah.
Oh.
And the color
have to rub one off at work?
Paper.
Yum.
Oh God.
I got one for you. I got one. You ready for this one? So
yes.
my grandparents live up on those mountains in the middle of nowhere, and there was this little bar up on the top of the mountain called the Pine Crest, and everybody used to brag about how like they had the best steaks and prime rib, blah blah. My whole life, it's all I ever heard, like the best food on the fucking planet. And that's because these little old women who took care of their families forever cooked in the kitchens, so the food was actually pretty good. But after the kitchen closed on Fridays and Saturday nights, they would get a DJ in there, and that place, like all of the freaks that lived in the middle of nowhere would come out and crowd this little tiny bar. And Monday morning, my aunt and I would go in there and clean this fucking place.
Oh God.
Oh no.
It was a nightmare because the bathrooms in the place had no stalls. It was like 2 toilets side by side. No stall and a sink. That was the ladies' room. The men's room looked very similar, except there was 1 urinal on the wall, 2 toilet seats, and a sink. And in the one corner, there was absolutely nothing in the men's room. I walked in there. My aunt was like, "Oh, go clean the bathrooms real quick. I'm going to start in the kitchen," because we had to tear the vents out from above all the cook stuff and take them outside and power wash them and all this shit. So she got started with that. I walked into the men's room to start to clean it, and there was fucking no lie, somebody's babies that they're never going to have all over the fucking corner.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
No.
Honestly, the people I feel bad for are the cleaners at hotels.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
The shit
Yes.
that they probably find when they clean clean
my God.
hotels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's why when I
God.
leave a hotel room, I leave money for housekeeping.
Mhm.
I mean, I leave that room looking nicer than I would when I walked in. Like
Mhm.
I generally do too.
I strip the bed, I pile all my towels up, I put everything in, like, make it easy. All my trash.
Piles. I tend to put piles of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I make it so that they have minimal work to do, and I always leave them a tip because I know after one summer working as a janitor, though they all don't earn enough, they work way too hard. Oh my god, the shit they see.
Yeah.
No thank you.
I have to say I love the custodians at my school because they're awesome and they work their ass off and they've been working their ass off this whole summer.
There's the janitors that work at my job have really, with working with COVID and stuff like that, they have had nonstop work. And they generally don't pay them very well. And they're generally, I talk to our janitor all the time. I'm like, hey, Tim, how's it going today? He goes, I've done 3 rooms in the last hour and I've got 5 more to go and I've got to clean up COVID and I got 3 more COVID rooms and they take 2 hours.
When I was in the hospital with pancreatitis for, God, it was almost like, I was in there almost a week. It was a long time.
Poopy.
The pank. No, I was puking, not pooping. I couldn't keep anything. I was puking my brains out. That was not fun. I puked through Zofran. That was not fun.
That takes some doing.
That does take some doing, and I managed it. But every time the housekeeping would come in to run the and this was pre-COVID by a bit, so they'd come in and run the little Swiffer thing around, and they'd empty the trash and take a swipe at things. I was always like, "Hi, how are you? Have a good day." They always look so surprised. I was like, "Why wouldn't I say hi to you?" Hi.
Because usually they get yelled at and stuff like that.
No, I was like, "Hi, have a nice day," and then I'd pass back out because they had me on Dilaudid.
That kind of reminds me, like my dad a few years ago, he had a blood vessel in his abdomen burst.
Oh,
so he was rushed to the hospital, and they had him in the intense just because of his age and the fact that he has high blood pressure and everything, and they just were there to monitor to make sure he wasn't going to lose blood. And so he would sleep kind of during the day because there was nothing else to do. So he would sleep during the day, and at night he would be up and he would be, he would get up and he'd walk out to the nurse's station and be like, "Is it okay if I sit here and just talk?"
The nurses probably loved it.
Oh, they loved it. They were like, "We're not used to this. Half of our patients are just," and he's like,
They're really crabby a lot of times.
He's like, "I'm bored. I want to talk to some people."
Yeah, and that's before COVID. Like, we just had graduation for 2 patients that just went home. One guy hadn't been home since March.
Oh, wow.
And he survived. And then same way with this other guy that we just sent home. He was in the hospital for 35 days.
Oh my
vented.
God. Oh,
Gosh.
and he came off.
Yeah, he came off, and he was elderly. I mean,
good for him. That's amazing.
That is.
I had another patient that was in the hospital for 21 days vented, and he came home too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So at least some, positive things for COVID is that it seems to be more survivable now, especially if you wear a mask. Now, I'm going to preach a little bit. You wear a mask, it lessens, even though they say it doesn't do anything, it lessens your viral load if you actually get
Exactly. And to actually catch an illness requires a sufficient viral load to overcome your immune system. And if you have a sufficient immune system, a low viral load, your immune system can go fuck you and kick it off. If you don't wear a mask, you're going to get a much higher viral load and you're going to get sick. If you wear a mask, you don't shed as much if you are sick because the mask is catching a lot of it. Yeah. And if you're wearing a mask and you're not sick, it's preventing you from catching more of it than you could. So wear a fucking mask, people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And it doesn't have to be one of the filter masks. It's more just to catch.
Yeah, I wear a cloth mask because
and not one of those mesh or pantyhose masks. Those don't
wear
work.
an actual
not the pantyhose one.
But I wear a cotton one with like these because I found the surgical masks I can wear a lot. So what I do, you get used to them. But I found that I found after a while, I'm like, all right, I'm starting to actually they were starting to cut behind my ears for some reason. So I switched to cloth
you just put the I use hair ties. There's ones that you can put buttons on them.
Yeah, I have an extender. I have an
extender now.
Yeah, I have.
Because your ears do really get sore.
I've seen it where people have made headbands with like
with the buttons. Yeah,
buttons.
I need to put buttons on mine.
But since the supply chain is a little iffy, I switched to some cloth masks, and I'm like, these still work well. I will take them. I will wear them.
What are pantyhose?
The nurse.
It's the people who are anti-mask, so they're like, "Oh, well, I'm wearing a mask." It's like
so they look like old bank robbers. Then
it ain't doing no fucking good because you could still breathe and get shit through that mask.
If you can blow a candle out with your mask, it is not a mask.
Yeah,
that's right.
Now, if like you get the mask wet, you may as well just take it off because if it's wet, it's not doing anything. I was playing laser tag on Monday and I was running around. I realized my mask was hanging down to here. I had a cloth mask on and it felt like a wet pair of underwear.
Oh, baby.
I kept trying to put it back up. I'm like,
too moist.
Moist.
But
I love that.
But I have another part of the story on my dad in the hospital. Because he was physically able to get up and move, when he needed to use the bathroom, he didn't want to use that little one in the room. He was like, I need more room than this. So the nurses would allow him to use their bathroom. They're like, we will allow you. And because he could walk to it. Because he was able to walk to it. And there was one day he was like,
that's new.
He was like,
wow.
He's like, I really need to go poop. I really need to. So they let him use the bathroom and my mom was there. And he's finishing up and he realizes he can't bend down to do anything.
Oh no.
So he had to call my mom in to help with that part. He was like, well, I guess this is, part of the better or for worse.
Yep.
Did you ever have one of those moments where you're like, this is it? This is how I go. They're going to find me.
Yes.
Have you ever had like something happen and you need a new pair of pants?
Yep.
Or underwear?
Yes.
And you call your significant other and you're like, sweetie, do you think you'd be able to bring me a pair of underwear? I don't care about the pants so much. I can run after those, but underwear and another roll of toilet paper would be good. Oh, and while you're at it.
Can you bring the moist wipes too?
Yeah, the moist wipes. Yeah. And my husband's like, are you serious? I'm like, get your ass up here. Yes.
Yeah. Get them pants here now.
Now. Which one do you want? Do you want the? And he always gives me the ones that are like the frilly underwear. I'm like,
no.
Those are not functional. Nope. Those are for another function.
Give me the big granny.
Those are the granny ones.
Yep. I actually knew this was when Nick and I got together. Like we were a whirlwind, flat out. We met online, moved in with each other within like a month, were engaged within 3 months. You know, like
Mhm.
we moved at like lightning speed. We just didn't tell anybody we were engaged for like another year. But anyway,
I think Chan's on mute.
Am I?
No, she's not on mute.
No, she's not on mute.
but
Brian, and it's. I'll tell you then.
but one night I'm
Oh,
I don't know what he's going on about.
Okay.
I just
so I'm in our little apartment, which was an efficiency with a loft. So it's basically it was in an apartment building, but it was basically the size of a single wide trailer with a bed loft. It was really tiny, and things started. You know, my monthly visitor started, and I was not prepared. Normally, I was always prepared. For some reason, I was not prepared. I thought I had stuff, I didn't, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, shit. Dating this guy, we really are into each other, but we're a month into our relationship.
You're
And I'm
not
like,
the farting, shitting time in your relationship yet. You don't
well, if
do
you
that
guys are
kind of
living
thing.
together, you might as well be at that point.
we were sort of living together, sort of not. But I'm like, I just started my period, and I have no supplies. Fuck my life. So I'm like, so hon, would you mind going to Kroger?
Oh my.
And I don't care what you get me, just get me a bag of something. Just something.
Absorbent.
Bring it
Yeah.
back. And then I'll go out and get what I actually need.
I don't care if it's a sponge. Bring me a sponge. I will put it in my underwear and I will go get something.
Please go get me something. I don't care what brand, whatever. Just get me something. He comes back.
Or the ones from the hospital that are like this.
Yeah.
And they're all
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That man came back with the exact brand, size, type I used.
Oh, wow.
And
I'm
chocolate.
impressed. And
Wow.
Oh, shit.
And he survived a price check. And this was back in the day.
Oh,
Price check at
God.
aisle. Price check at register 3. Brought me exactly what I needed.
Oh,
exactly
shit.
the type. I was like, I gotta marry this man.
That's like a
Hell
man doing
yeah.
the dick. That's all kind of sexy, huh?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I've had to send my
Hell yes.
husband to the store for that.
Yep. I have had to.
And what I did is I cut the brand out. This was before cell phones. I cut the the package insert out, and I'm like, take that.
No, he didn't even have that. I'm just like, if you can get the brand I use, I mentioned the brand name, but I'm like, I don't care. Just get me something, because I could not move. There was no like.
It was definitely Shark Week going on.
Yeah, it was the whole ocean of sharks was there. Because when I TMI guys, apologies, but when I bleed really, really heavy to the point where I get iron deficiency anemia, and I've had 2 iron transfusions.
That's why I had a hysterectomy.
I want one, but I don't bleed heavy enough, they say, to get one.
Don't trust anything that bleeds for 7 days and still lives.
Exactly.
Hey, Cat. Get a uterine ablation.
I want one. I just don't know how
They
much.
tried to do one on me, and it didn't work.
Oh no!
And I bled through it.
Oh God, they did mine, and it slowed it down, and then. But after they did it, that's when they did the blood work and everything, and they went, "Oh, okay, you're premenopausal," and it was like, "Oh, so that's why this is going on." I was like, "Okay, I'm good." It's like,
well, it's definitely to the point now where instead of the entire time, it's just 1 day of bad, and the rest of the time is manageable. It used to be 7 days of horror show. Now it's like 1 day of horror show and like 4 days of like manageable. So
I was 8 to 9 days. Full bore. I'd go through a pack of pads, because I couldn't wear tampons, I bleed right through them.
Oh yeah.
I went through a 64 pack of pads in less than a week.
Yeah.
And I would pass out all the time.
Oh God. Thankfully, it was never that bad. It was just to the point where like anemia and all that.
No, I passed out.
There was only one time I passed out because of my period. I was a teenager, and that was still when like hormones were just absolutely crazy. and
Mm-hmm.
I was in the bathroom, and I think my mom. I was just like, I'm not really feeling that good. My mom came to check on me, and I was like white. So she went to take my temperature, and she says as soon as she put the thermometer in, I bit down and I just was on the ground.
Damn.
Poor thing.
Done that.
And I came to, and she was like, "We're going to the doctor." She says, "This is not normal." And yeah, they did the blood work, and they were like, "You're
Anemic.
And he looked at me. He's like, "This is on your period." And I was like, "Yeah, I just started this morning." He said, "Sometimes that happens. Your hormones are all out of whack."
I still remember I had a Mirena put in after I had our son, because I didn't want to be on the pill. I was tired of being on the pill. I've been on the pill for a long time, and I was worried about like blood clots and stuff because it runs in my family, and I'm like, I don't want that. So I was like, oh, I'll get this IUD thing. It'll be great. Not so great. I started getting sick every other month. I was starting to have like vomiting and GI pain, and when I have Repro-Pain, I get GI signs, which is so much fun. And I'm at work, and this is up north, and all of a sudden I collapsed, like I hit the deck, and my coworkers called 911. I made them cancel it because I'm like, I can't leave. Somebody has to relieve me. I can't walk out on my patients.
They're like,
yeah.
What happens if you would have a heart attack right now?
Yeah, I know that. I should have just let him call the ambulance. But anyway, I wasn't thinking clearly.
Obviously.
So I get, my relief shows up. Nick shows up, takes me to the ER. And the doctor's like, oh, you just have a little bug. I'm giving you some fluid, some Zofran. You'll be fine. I'm like, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Listen to me. He's like, fine, I'll run some tests. He was such a jackass.
Most doctors are when it comes to women.
They run tests. Turns out that fucking thing lacerated my uterus and gave me a severe metritis. I was this close to being septic.
That's why I was saying you probably punctured.
I was this close, like lacerated this close, like that close.
I don't know why they still use IUDs, because honestly, there's so many people that had that happen.
I have told so many people off of those because of that. But you know what? I was shocked. The doctor actually came in and apologized to me.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is.
He actually said, I'm really sorry. He's like, I thought it was just a GI bug. I'm glad you insisted something was wrong. I was like,
because
usually they get even more pissed off.
Well, he knew I was a doctor, and so I think it was like a little bit of professional courtesy. Like he came in and was like,
"Oh, I had to yell. I had to get on. I went to urgent care once because I knew I was sick. I knew I had a sinus infection, and because I've had them so many times. I know, like the first signs, and my regular doctor had no available appointment, so I went to the urgent care, and the doctor was like, well, usually it has to be like 32 to 70 hours before we can do anything. And I said, look, if you don't give me medicine now, I will be in the hospital tomorrow because I will be in so much pain I will not be able to move. I was like, You don't realize, I know sinus infections. I know my body. My body is telling me I am very sick. Give me medicine or I will be in the hospital tomorrow. And she was like, well, if you're insistent, if you know your body that well. I was like, God, do I need to oh God, she pissed me off.
That's why most of the time I deal with herbases of different types and diagnose my damn self unless it's absolutely necessary, which I know isn't the best idea.
It's not like I was going to say, it's not always the best idea because I get a lot of those people who don't, that they overdo everything and then they don't take if they have really high blood pressure, we're not going to take the medication.
I mean, that's ridiculous though. Like that's not what I'm talking
they end
about.
up in the hospital with blood pressure or a stroke. But
I would not like. So JD's on heart medication and all this other stuff because of his heart attacks and all that. I would never ever tell him not to take medication. I would utilize my knowledge of
to enhance it.
Yeah, of we'll say like herbs and nature and household stuff in order to help if other things go wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to tell somebody who is medicated for specific things to not take their medication. I take medication. I take my gabapentin for my neuropathy regularly, and I will not stray from that until I find something that works better. But I will attempt to do things to aid in that, so I'm not at the doctor all the time, because I don't think that's healthy. You know, not be chowing down on medication.
Somebody who's like Dr. Google, save me from Dr. Google.
Oh my gosh! Don't start me on that.
Don't do that.
People do that for their animals. They do it for themselves, and it's like I've actually gotten to a point now where I just tell people, when they argue with me, I'm like, look, your 5 minutes of research on Dr. Google doesn't negate my 15 years of experience doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I went gluten-free. Because the inflammation that gluten can cause in your body. And all the inflammation that I had around the metal and all the stuff in my legs, I was like, I'm gonna try this and see if it helps. So I just cut the gluten out of my diet. Yeah. And I'll tell you
me with celiacs.
Right. And it
I
helped.
had to completely.
Right.
And yes, the bread I was eating was gluten-free.
Oh, but see, here's the thing. Your body does need some gluten. You know what I mean? Like
I can't at all.
I know.
At all.
It's too. I know.
Even just a smidge for me is murder.
I mean, I stopped taking my birth control because I kept getting yeast infections, inner and outer, to the point where I was miserable. And the only thing that worked was a steroid cream. Only thing that would relieve it. And when I stopped taking my birth control, it started clearing up.
It's not uncommon because you're messing with your hormones.
Because it was inner and outer. Do you know how painful it is to be? It's painful, guys listening, I'm sorry, but this is the shit we deal with. Having inner yeast infection hurts, but having the outer yeast infection is even worse. I've got the scars.
Oh my God. I had one in my life, because I had antibiotics, which the pharmacist said would not. It'd be
That's
fine.
a lie.
We have determined that is a lie.
Yeah, I was doing the shimmy shake thing you guys were just doing to try. Oh my God, the itch! I once, and I thought I was gonna claw myself to pieces. I can't imagine doing it recurrently.
I probably had this yeast infection on and off for almost 2 years.
Oh, honey,
it made sex painful.
Oh, I can only imagine.
You're not supposed to do that when you have that going on. He said, no.
He can get it too, and then he can give it back to you.
Yeah, just pass it back.
I know.
It's just like
she's like, yeah, whatever.
She's like, yeah, whatever.
Bad. Don't do that to yourself.
No, I don't, because I'm not on birth control and I haven't had one ever since I stopped taking my birth control.
No, it's because it was messing with your hormones. Look, man, women have sensitive areas, and we have to watch our hormone levels and things of that nature, and messing around with things. Moisture. We have to watch moisture, and all these other.
Keep it nice and moist.
And let me tell you, this summer has been terrible for the heat.
This is what I was gonna say earlier. And all of this stuff is why I don't wear panties.
You commando.
I said it, Jason. I said the dirty word.
Panties.
Yeah. There's another trigger word we can play with.
Ooh.
Anyway,
I cannot not go without panties.
I can't either.
I can't go without them.
I hate them. I think it's a government conspiracy. Underpants are a government conspiracy, and I don't want anything to do with it. Fuck them underpants.
See, I mean, at least 1 week out of the month, I can't avoid them regardless. But like in Scrubs, in Scrubs, it's like, I want something else between me and the world. One dog catches that waistband just right. Nobody.
Yeah,
Look,
I agree with you there, Kat. These are not very thick.
They're thin. They're not sturdy, and they have drawstrings. That knot comes unraveled at the wrong moment. Boom.
Have you ever had them fall down on you? I have.
I've had them start going, but they've never dropped on me totally.
Or if you sit down and the top of them come down and they're over your ass cheeks.
Yep.
Because that happened to me today.
Yep. I know everybody that I work with, I know their underwear preferences.
Yes. And whale tail is not good.
The commando thing is only good if you're in your PJs. Like, that's the God's honest truth. That's if you're in PJs, you don't.
Jeans, I think, would rub really hard.
That would not be fun.
That'd be uncomfortable.
That would be very chafing.
Yeah.
Or especially with a bump in the middle. Oh dear heavens!
Don't let that ride in the wrong place.
It might be the greatest ride of your life, or it might be the most painful.
That's right. I mean, that's it.
You catch the seam and how you catch it. I mean, it might actually feel good.
It could.
That's a little rough.
You never know.
Jeans are very rough.
But if it's catching you just right and it is good, then do you really want to be walking through the grocery store and all of a sudden you got a fucking orgasm going and you're like, oh shit.
I mean, isn't the goal to have as many as you can? Sorry.
Not the grocery store.
In the middle of the Walmart.
Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? So you get a little flushed and actually having a hot flash. Over by the frozen food section.
Stick your head in.
Yourself.
How'd that Steve Martin movie go? What'd he say? What was that movie? Come on.
Harry Met Sally?
No. The Steve Martin movie. Fuck. Where he looks at the chick. He's playing an Italian guy, and he looks at the chick in the frozen food section, and he's like, says something about, you're gonna melt all this stuff. Or something like that.
The ice cream?
I can't remember what the fuck the movie was now. I love him too. Damn it. I have to look it up.
It'll come to you like 10 minutes after the show ends. You'll be like, ah, damn it. That's what it was.
More than likely.
Go to the...
You're going to melt all the popsicles.
He's such a good actor.
There was an article I read in, I think it was England, because they had a really bad heat wave. And, in England, they don't really have air conditioning because it's...
Yeah.
Women were warned not to put popsicles.
My blue heaven.
Because they were giving themselves infections.
Oh God!
Oh my
dear Lord! Why? What? Why? Why would you even come to that conclusion that that's gonna?
I have no idea.
Well, some alcoholics that can no longer drink give themselves an alcohol dose, or
oh my God,
that happens.
Oh yeah.
God, dude, hold on.
Vodka in tampons.
Yeah, I found this out. I found this out in a really gross way. I found out that these kids, I don't know if this is just a local thing, but I found out that these kids were soaking tampons in alcohol and then shoving them up their ass.
Oh yeah,
because
they wouldn't get caught drinking.
They'll put them in the enema bottles. They'll put alcohol in enema bottles and shoot it up their ass, and you will get drunk as can be.
I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
Oh no, you can OD on alcohol real fast.
Yeah, because it's absorbed too quickly. Your body doesn't have time to do anything with it.
Because that's where a lot of your food and drinks absorb from. And it literally will make you...
There have been fraternities that have gotten in trouble because they made their pledges put the bong in the asshole and they pour the alcohol down it. And they say how much they can handle.
I think we just broke Jason, by the way. If you look at the chat.
I think we did. We did. Because seriously,
I think so.
Women will take tampons dipped in vodka, shove it up there and get themselves drunk. And then, yes, there was a bunch of teenagers that got themselves drunk or in the area that
I'm sorry, I just got to
tampons, alcohol soap tampons. I even know how to do that because I was very. Thank you.
Drive by cat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I said to somebody, I'm like, I don't get how is this possible? And they just whipped out a tampon, their tampon while we were at work. They're like, okay, that's vodka. Open the tampon, slide it halfway out, dip it.
Wow.
And your blood
Jesus
alcohol
Christ.
level shoots sky high, and it happens so quick.
Found it.
And we've had alcoholics that lost their esophagus due to alcoholism, and they're literally doing enemas where they're pouring it into an enema bag and up the rectum, and dying from alcohol poisoning. The stuff that people
I guess
do,
if you're
like,
intent on dying with shit.
People
well,
are
they don't care. They just want their next fix.
Yeah.
I mean, alcoholism is just as bad as some of the other ones.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've seen withdrawal symptoms that have almost killed people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like people who are addicted to heroin. You know, after they've abused their arms, they go for the legs and the feet.
Yep.
They shoot up in between their fingers and in between their toes.
There you go. Fingers.
Ready? He's gonna say it.
Yep.
Oh, it's dangerous for you to be here in the frozen food section.
Why is that?
Because you could melt all this stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
You could melt all this stuff.
All right,
My
let's
blood, Evan,
when are
watch
we going to get the copyright infringement for that?
We're not. It was like 3 seconds.
We're not. As long as it's less than 5 seconds, we're good.
Okay, good.
And that was literally like 3. We're fine.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to. That's a great movie. You should watch that movie. It's hilarious.
See, I just can't imagine doing that. Number one, I hate tampons to begin with. Like, flat out. I hate those fucking things with a passion.
Don't really want to walk around with shit shoved up my ass. I'm sorry. Not interested.
That's what I use, so.
Exit only.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. There's a you guys ever go on TikTok?
Not really.
No.
Nick loves TikTok.
My kids have forbade me.
Oh, it's kind of it's like a black hole, like YouTube videos or Facebook videos. But
I love YouTube video black holes.
TikTok's
I love
worse.
Facebook.
But Nick basically got hooked on it, and he started sending me videos. So I ended up going on it just to, because like there's otters and cute dogs and stuff like that. But there's one TikToker who's a stripper, and she's a stripper, and she talks about being a stripper, and it's hilarious because she's just like, this is what it is, and she talks about plugs.
Gross.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Basically things, she talks about
butt plugs.
Yeah, she talks about butt plugs and how some dancers will use them, like the tail ones or like a jewel or something.
Oh, I've seen the butt plugs for we had some furry people that had butt plugs. Furries with butt plug tails.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, like, she's talking about dancing with some dancers use those. I'm like, how do you do anything with one of those in there? Like, I don't get it.
Clench those cheeks.
I don't want to know. They're just trying to strengthen their pelvic muscles. That's really all they're doing, which indicates to me that there are some things that they should not have done. You're supposed to take care of your junk, not stretch it out to high heaven. You gotta, if you're gonna have good orgasms, yes, you have to have strong muscles, but you don't gotta stretch the shit out to kingdom come. Good Lord.
I mean, it was like Jason and Wolf were talking about pony play, the people who do pony play.
I just think the furries are hilarious. I think they're very fucking funny.
Dear heavens, Jason!
I would say probably. Probably a big struggle, Jason.
So
Well, this TikToker actually talked about how one dancer was dancing and it fell out, and she went to just out of habit went to like pick it up for her, and the dancer's screaming, "No, don't touch it!"
Oh, for
And she's like, "I'm getting this close to touching it." I'm like, "Oh, gross."
Oh god.
Apparently, they can fall out while twerking. Is what happened. Is what she said.
Oh Lord.
This lady is hilarious. Actually, she's really fun
okay.
to listen to. It really is.
I heard one guy that the guys went out to a strip club one night, and the one stripper had a thing with ping pong balls.
Ew.
She'd say
She would
hold up
shoot
the
them
ping
out.
pong-
That's in a
Yeah.
movie.
Well, she would actually, what she would do is she would say, choose the color of ping pong ball. And then she'd put them in. Oh, well, she'd say, choose a color. And then she'd put them in and say, okay, now tell me which one you want. And she could move her pelvic floor around and pop out, shoot out the one ball that they wanted.
I don't know if I should be scared or impressed.
Same.
I'm the same way.
A little of both.
Chan, what in the world do you have in your mouth? Looks like a turd.
Licorice.
Licorice.
It is
Black
a
licorice?
spool of black licorice. Yes.
Oh,
Yummy. I love black licorice. Oh my god.
My aunt would say, shame on you. Black licorice is good for your belly. She made me get used to eating this shit. It's been years.
Black licorice, actually, licorice is a noodle. Licorice is a noodle. I can't have it.
Aww.
What?
I can't have licorice.
Oh no.
Look at the package. The number one ingredient is wheat.
Not beef.
Corn, corn syrup.
You know I'm weird about this shit. You know
mine
that
mine
it's
says
the
corn.
second ingredient.
Yeah,
What's the second ingredient?
Wheat flour, enriched wheat flour, yeah.
It's a noodle.
I can't eat Twizzlers. These are homemade.
Oh, they're homemade? That's different.
Ah.
And I still won't eat black licorice because that shit's nasty.
I love it.
I've had
It's
it. I've
delicious.
tried it.
Chan.
Yeah.
Chan, I'm with you. You and I will sit there and eat pounds of black licorice. I can do it.
You can make the strawberry licorice. That's homemade, but I will not eat that black shit.
It's like Jason just sitting there eating ginger straight.
What is it?
Oh, I can't do ginger straight.
Ginger? I can eat ginger straight.
I have the crystallized shit. Now it's got some sugar on the outside of it that I really don't need, but that's also really good for your belly.
Oh no, like
that's very good for your belly.
He'll get sushi and he'll eat.
Oh yeah.
I keep a thing of pickled ginger.
I have to leave that alone.
Oh, I can't.
You gotta the ginger. You can't touch it.
I don't like it. I can't.
I love it.
I
eat
love
it all.
ginger ale.
I'll eat it all.
I like gingerbread.
Ginger, anything else? No problem.
I don't like gingerbread.
I can't do
like
straight
chunk of
ginger.
with sushi.
I like all the foods. I like pretty much all the foods. The only foods I don't like are Brussels sprouts and lima beans, to be perfectly honest. I can handle
two really good ones.
They're terrible. I fucking hate them.
Oh, Jason, Eric can't stand vinegar either. He can't stand the smell of it. He doesn't like the taste of it.
It causes him to like. I mean, his face would be like, I mean,
yeah, that's the same way with Eric. Eric can't smell anything. I start boiling vinegar, and he's like, "Oh gosh, oh!" You think he was having a heart attack?
Clean out your coffee pot.
I drive my kids bananas because the best way to get stuck on stuff out of your microwave is to take a dish of white vinegar or even apple cider and put it in there and cook it for 3 minutes. And then you let it sit for a little bit, and then you use a rag using the vinegar and you wipe it out, and it'll come right out. My kids always, anytime I do it, they go, "Oh God, you cleaned the microwave." They can smell it upstairs. They're like, "You cleaned the microwave." I'm like, "Yes, I did. I cleaned the microwave." Just like I use vinegar and water to clean the window, to clean the mirrors in the bathroom. And they're like, "Oh, you cleaned.
Yeah,
I can smell it."
See, vinegar doesn't bother me.
Now, see, I'll even drink apple cider vinegar every once in a while.
That's really good for you.
That's really good for your to get rid of mucus.
See, vinegar,
Oh, yeah.
I
Yep.
love like salt and vinegar potato chips. Give me a bag. It's
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
Vinegar,
That's
I
my
love.
favorite.
But oh my god, my thing is broccoli.
Oh, I love broccoli.
Celery.
I
I
love
will
it.
not touch that shit.
If
Oh my
somebody
god.
Celery?
microwaving broccoli,
Oh, I hate
I get
celery. It
nauseous.
is the worst shit in the world. It's not even worth eating.
oh, it's negative calories. You actually burn more calories eating it than you.
Exactly. It's not food.
No, it's really
It's
not.
delicious.
No, it's not.
You know what?
I like
It's
celery.
disgusting.
Cauliflower is
The
terrible.
smell of broccoli actually makes me nauseous. Like it makes
I
me
like
gag.
Well, see,
Literally makes me
celery is the
gag.
same way with me. It actually doesn't. I don't feel good on it. I don't eat it. I can't stand. Ugh.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a fan,
yeah.
but I don't have that visceral reaction. But like, if somebody makes broccoli,
oh,
if it's
ooh.
like even it raw, like just even looking at it makes me want to hurl.
No,
I
see,
have
I
a
love broccoli. I love cauliflower. I love Brussels sprouts, asparagus, lima beans. I eat them for dinner all the time.
Mom,
Um,
are you gonna tell them the backstory?
what else? Oh, I don't like chocolate.
Also,
What?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
illegal.
like
She doesn't like chocolate. Her and I had this conversation.
Yeah, no, it's bitter.
That's illegal.
You don't like chocolate? What?
No,
I don't like
she doesn't
chocolate.
like chocolate.
I don't understand. That doesn't compute.
It doesn't compute. No.
Jake,
You're an alien.
Kate's brain is like, can't compute.
unless you're allergic.
Aliens.
I don't understand.
Aliens.
I
She's
don't.
The
I don't
only
like
person I know
chocolate.
that says that.
Yeah,
I know another person that doesn't like chocolate.
every
I don't-
once
I
in
don't
a
like
while,
chocolate.
I'll eat it with like, peanut butter cups. As long as there's a little bit of chocolate on top of the peanut butter, because I love the peanut butter.
Oh,
I'll
man,
eat that, but I don't.
Peanut butter.
I'm not into chocolate. Now, when I would get my period, that's a different story. I would eat it one time a month, and then I was fine. It was like a hormonal thing that I had to have it.
What
But
about
I don't
dark
like
chocolate?
Right.
Ew! Oh my
I
gosh,
love
that's
dark
even
chocolate.
worse.
Me too. I'm with you, Anna.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love it.
No.
Never met a version I didn't like, to be honest with you. And now I don't go nuts for it. Like, honestly, like if I send Nick if I want something sweet, 9 times out of 10 I tell him no chocolate. Like I want like lemon meringue or key lime or
Chocolate is
like that.
not sweet though. It's very bitter.
I'm a
very
key lime.
bitter.
I'm with you on the key lime.
I like key lime.
But like so a lot of times it's not that I actually want chocolate if I want something sweet, but sometimes I do. But like so I'm not like a chocoholic, but I do still love the stuff.
I can't do like just straight chocolate. I need something like with the chocolate, like almonds or some sort of like nut with the chocolate. Or
Chocolate and
like
peanut butter is my thing. I
chocolate
love
and
that.
peanut butter, or like the chocolate and pretzels and the nuts, like the
peanut butter by itself is better.
Peanut butter on celery.
Stick with it.
I actually
no. What I would do is I would lick the peanut butter off and hand it back.
I have these like they're chocolate coffee beans.
I haven't eaten them.
I can't eat them.
My sister, I don't know why my sister sent them to me because I'm like, I don't eat chocolate.
But like I can't just I just can't take like a chocolate bar and just eat it. I need something with it.
I can. I'll eat it all for you. It's all right.
And the thing is, I like white chocolate, but I like it within like a cookies and cream. I love cookies and cream.
Not the biggest fan of that stuff. Depends.
Mint and chocolate is like my favorite thing too.
Okay, now that's
depends on me.
How do we always end up on food? How do we always go here? I don't understand. Can I just tell you one of the greatest things in the world to eat with mint chocolate chip?
Your cookies.
Well, we start with mental health and
cookies.
We start with mental health.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Not during pregnancy.
Mental
I would
health.
eat barbecue chips with mint chocolate chip ice cream. Like use them like a scoop. It sounds awful, but it's like the best thing ever. It's that salty with the sweet. I know it sounds weird, but I'm telling you, it's like one of the greatest
McDonald's
things.
fries with their Oh my god, my brain just went poof on me.
Have you never dipped like your Arby's curly fries in a milkshake? Come on.
I do that
Not
with
Arby's, but Wendy's fries.
Wendy's
You gotta
Frosty.
have Wendy's fries and the Frosty together.
But it's not the
No,
same
no,
as
no,
it
no,
used
no,
to be.
no, no.
The hot
McDonald's
fudge
French
French
fries.
fries and their hot fudge
McDonald's.
sundaes.
No, McDonald's French fries and Wendy's Frosty.
No, McDonald's French fries suck
You
now.
have to do a double hit.
Yeah.
See,
They do
I don't
now, yes.
I don't like the Wendy's Frosties anymore. They've changed. They've somehow changed from what it used to be.
They're not as chocolatey.
Yes.
It's the only reason I'll eat them. I didn't eat them before.
Give me a hot fudge sundae from McDonald's and some of their French fries, and I'm happy.
Give me some of that Reese's ice cream.
Yes.
Yummy.
Yes.
How about it, Kat? How about it? You know what's up.
Now, see, that is you, Kat. You had said, we started out with mental health. We ended up on food. Hell yeah, because what's one of the best mental health comforts is food.
True.
We always end up at food.
Yeah,
Everybody does.
What's the best cure for anything? Good food, good family and friends, and good conversation. Lots of laughs. That's the cure all for everything. I'm telling you. And even if it doesn't take the illness away, it makes things bearable. You know what I mean? And that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, ladies,
or the bomb.
My cookies.
I agree. They'll cure anything.
Yep.
Well, Thanksgiving this year, ladies, we're doing a monster Thanksgiving here. We're going to be baking for days. We're going to be hanging out. We're probably going to end up putting a tent in the backyard so everybody can eat together. Come on, man. Let's bake some shit.
On Thanksgiving Day?
Well, it'll probably go through the weekend. So whenever people can get here. But yeah, it'll be probably from like Wednesday to Sunday, maybe Monday. Depends on how things go. But it's
I might be able to do that. I already told them I wanted to have some time around Thanksgiving off.
Well, it's a much needed thing, and it's about time family got together without the stress of other family being involved.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's an anxiety issue that I have that's way up here. I can't do my personal blood family during those situations unless it's like a scattered few. I need to have like the people in my life that love me like family that can come here and have fun and have laughs and we can get together and not stress about anything.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
I don't have family anymore. This will be the first year I'll have without my family.
Well, that's why you're coming here. See, and Dust is doing the same thing. And last year when we all got together for Thanksgiving, it was Realm's giving as Dust.
Realm's giving.
I will tell you this right now: doing Thanksgiving with Realm family and friends like that was probably the best Thanksgiving I've had. And we're gonna do this one for Mike, and we're gonna make it a good one. So
that's awesome.
Hell yeah!
You know I will cook anything.
Bring it.
Good friends, good foods, and lots of toys to play with.
Okay.
That's
Lots
all
of
you
laughs.
need.
Lots of laughs.
Lots
Lots
of laughs.
of laughs.
You can always bust out the Cards Against Humanity because
Oh yeah. Who's got the extended
That's
pack?
how you learn.
We do.
That's how you learn everything about your friends.
Or
Everything.
and how you learn
Oh,
about
yeah.
Just that
Yeah.
savage.
It's
Well,
fun.
ladies, I hate to say it, but it is after 10.
Oh no!
And unfortunately, I have to go to work later, like a few hours from now.
I do
So,
I did too.
I have another 12-hour shift again tomorrow.
Ugh,
12
good
today,
luck.
so off tomorrow. That's why I was late.
Ugh.
I didn't get out in time to get here.
Well, I'm glad you were here.
Yes,
Thank you.
Your hair looks great.
it does.
I do.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you.
Remember,
Yeah,
everyone, wash your hands, wear your mask 6 feet. Don't be a douche.
And
Don't
if
be
you
a
need
Karen.
some,
Don't be a Chad.
if you need some mental health
and
relief, contact your friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yes,
We'd
And if you walk
rather
into a store-
talk to you.
If you walk into a store and you don't have a mask on and I happen to be there, I will publicly shame you very loudly. I will walk around and publicly shame you. I've been doing it at our Walmart to the bunch of the fucking rednecks that have come up here, and I will publicly shame you. I'll probably get my ass kicked at some point, but...
And if you're up here and you do that, you will probably have to deal with my husband's nasty gas, because he will go around and he will crop dust anyone who doesn't have a mask on.
Oh boy.
Really good way to handle that, actually. Nobody knows.
He's sitting over there.
Alrighty,
true.
I've done it twice already.
Everyone be sure to check us out and follow us, like us, all that happy crap on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. We are everywhere. Make sure that you follow us, review us, all that lovely stuff. We will find you. I will
stalk you like
you and just start pasting your walls.
We will stalk you like a crazy ex-girlfriend.
You. That's gross.
That's
anyway.
That would be really cool. Well, ladies, this has been fun. Everybody watching, listening, all that stuff. Take care of yourself. Good one.
I was yawning.
I love it.
He did that exactly when I was yawning.
Yep.
And on that note,
you're going to call a good time there, Casper.
What's that?
All right. Be safe, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.